Dun dun dun! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for what is going to be nothing short of another jam-packed daily cryptocurrency market update with yours truly. If you are new to this channel and finding yourself on my videos for the first time today, don't forget to check out that subscribe button because I drop an update just like this one around 1 PM UK time every single day to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest things happening within the crypto space, but also the broader markets. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. We've got a lot to cover. Mt.Gox, of course, is looming. And we're starting to see repayments actually take place, but creditors may have to wait 3 months. So we're going to be covering that. We're also going to be talking about the fact that the German government is literally dumping Bitcoin on the market. They're not even deciding to go over the counter and get a better deal for their Bitcoin. So by dumping it, they're lowering the price of Bitcoin, meaning they're not even getting as much money as they could do going over the counter and being sort of smart about it. So not sure who is in charge of that in regards to Germany, but doesn't seem like the smartest move. But they are a big factor in the market. And what's happening with crypto is very internal to crypto. When we look at the macro picture, and we have been exceptionally right in regards to the direction of the stock market, in regards to the direction of precious metals, in regards to the direction in the short term, certainly, of the Dixie, and actually more broad term. The only thing that's not playing ball right now is Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency space, which means that something internal is happening with this space. There's no volume there whatsoever. So an event like what Germany is doing is significant. Yesterday was, of course, the 4th of July when America broke free from the UK, the United Kingdom, the British Empire. And it wasn't a great day for the cryptocurrency market. Also, it was polling day in the UK. And of course, Labour won by an absolute landslide. Let's move swiftly on. So yesterday, there was a lot that went on. Of course, we're going to stick to the cryptocurrency markets and not get into anything political on this channel. Let's start things off. I hope you like that joke, by the way, guys. Really risking it there. Let's start things off with some Mt.Gox news. So Mt.Gox, I've been covering Mt.Gox for as long as I've been in the cryptocurrency space. They've just moved $2.7 billion worth of Bitcoin out of its cold storage. Now, they are set to start repaying people this month. This was a letter from Crypto Insights UK. Good guy to follow, fellow Brit. I think he's currently living in Dubai. This is a letter that was sent. So a note to whom it may concern. Rehabilitating Debtors Mt.Gox Co. Limited. On July the 5th, 2024, the Rehabilitation Trustee made repayments in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash to some of the rehabilitation creditors through a part of the designated crypto exchanges, ET, etc. In accordance with the rehabilitation plan, repayments to other rehabilitation creditors will be promptly made once the following conditions have been met. Confirmation of the validity of registered accounts and other matters. Acceptance of the intention to subscribe to the agency receipt agreement by the designated cryptocurrency exchanges, etc. Completion of discussion between the rehabilitation trustees and designated crypto exchanges, etc. regarding repayments. And confirmation that repayments can be made safely and securely. We ask eligible rehabilitation creditors to wait for a while. So there's only some people starting to be repaid. They've moved the funds, likely in preparation for repayment. Only some have received it. There is news circulating in regards to, and this is a very typical sort of legal letter, by the way. They always try and make it as confusing and lawyerish as possible. But Mt.Gox creditors may have to wait for up to 3 months to receive their Bitcoin. The timeline for creditors to receive their Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash repayments varies depending on custodians. It may take up to 90 days for those claims to claiming the repayment with Kraken accounts. So some people have already been repaid. Are some of them likely going to be dropping onto the market? I have no doubt about it. But the real main one is, of course, what the German government is doing. The German government have an absolute treasure chest of Bitcoin that they've seized from people, and obviously they're trying to raise funds through it instead of paying the people back that obviously were victims to whatever fraud took place. They're obviously trying to fund their own self, and actually even Justin Sun is now stepping in and saying, I am willing to negotiate with the German government to purchase all BTC off market in order to minimize the impact on the market. So this is significant. We'll talk about the broader markets because when we look at the broader markets, they're doing well. Gold's even doing well. The stock market's doing well as predicted. Risk generally is doing absolutely fantastically. The dollar's even coming down in the short term. It's a big day today. Of course, we've got non-farm payrolls, which I'm going to pull up now because it's worth talking about. And we also have the unemployment. So we're getting a lot of sort of weaker data than people were expecting. A 0.1 plus 0.1% quarter on quarter is typically has been, people start asking the question, well, when does a recession come? We'll cover all that once we've got a little bit of the news out the way that we want to get into. We'll look at the broader markets. But you do have a German parliament member, Johann Kotter, says government selling Bitcoin is nonsensible, urges holding Bitcoin as a strategic reserve currency. I would agree. You want to diverse any decent portfolio management. But the problem with governments is it's not their head on the chopping blocks. It's somebody else's problem at some point. So they won't do what's best. They'll do what's probably easiest. And that's what we're seeing taking place. So it is literally nonsensical that the German government is selling on the market because they're lowering the price of Bitcoin at a time when there's literally no volume. Let's dive over to the Bitcoin chart. And I hate to say it, guys, and I sound like a broken record. I still believe Bitcoin's going to $151,000. In fact, I think we could see 100K by the end of this year. We were always expecting a pullback around all-time highs. You've got that. Bitcoin's well ahead of schedules in regards to the 4-year cycle theory. And we're getting a sustained pullback, just like we had over here. And we kept a lot of people long, although we're not a financial advisor. And ultimately, we've had this. And I think this is going to resolve in further upside. There is some of our technical patterns on some altcoins not looking as hot as they once did, but we are still, I believe, in this kind of basing phase for crypto, albeit very volatile. And in the altcoin market, you need to understand the nature of the beast that you're dealing with. It's a very volatile one. But if you look at volume, to stick to the topic at hand, it's just non-existent. Throughout this whole pullback, volume's been dropping off. And that's the same across, and I'll take the draw off because I've got all sorts of draws on my Bitcoin charts. That's the same across all exchanges. There's just no volume there whatsoever. So when you have an event like what's taking place with the German government, let's hope Justin Sun can save us all. It's not great. We look at, Tesla was a recent stock we've been looking at. We've got stocks like Microsoft. Lots of our stocks made targets going above and beyond. The stock market is doing spectacularly, and the dollar is actually rolling. And it's going to be interesting to see what comes up. We'll cover non-farm payrolls in just a second. So our bet on risk generally is right. For whatever reason, and we've looked at the most likely reason being what the German government is doing, and the sell pressure at a time when there's no volume. I think that is literally the reason the crypto space is doing what it's doing. For whatever reason, Bitcoin is kind of diverging. This is kind of the decoupling of crypto and risk, but not the one we wanted from risk generally. We know that the trend between the dollar, get rid of the 30 weekly moving average, and risk generally. And we're expecting the dollar to come down. The dollar has been rolling recently, which has pushed sort of gold, the stock market up, but Bitcoin's just done the opposite, which suggests that what's happening here is you've got an internal issue with the cryptocurrency space, kind of like what we saw, with FTX. And we're happy FTX happened because it allowed us to sort of catch the low for many cryptocurrencies. Remember, we got back into the market at the start of 2023. We've been accumulating throughout this sort of sideways period. It's been a bumpy ride, guys. I'm there with you. My portfolio is down significantly from what it was 3 months ago. And I've always said this, I know my own limits. I'm not trying to sell every top and every bottom within sell every top and buy every bottom within what's a broader uptrend for risk generally. And given enough time, I do think we'll still be right on everything that we've sort of looked at. But in the short term, crypto really isn't playing ball with the general risk sector, and that's obviously because of what's happening internally, likely what's happening over in Germany. Today is a significant day because you've got non-farm payrolls and you've got the unemployment data to come out. So where are we in terms of unemployment? We want to see this fall below. There's there's fears right now. So there's a lot of uncertainty in regards to markets. It's a multi-dimensional kind of game right now. Unemployment obviously upticking is bad for the markets. We have certainly weakening economic data. We've got a lot of confirmation of that. There needs to be that kind of reversion of that. And I do think that comes on the back end of the liquidity cycles going up with risk generally. And that's all led largely by liquidity, or is led by liquidity and the kind of lowering of interest rates, which is going to see the dollar continue to form, risk continue to do well. I think crypto or certainly Bitcoin will appreciate from that, but it's just going through its own sort of teething problems at the moment, if you will, in regards to the German government. You've also got to ask and derive the question of, well, is this industry that kind of flimsy? In the sense that the German government can do what they're doing. Well, under the right circumstances and conditions, you can absolutely argue yes. So we really want to get an update out there. Don't worry, guys. We'll keep you up to date day in, day out. There's a lot of sort of uncertainty in the cryptocurrency space, this pullback, and pullbacks never feel like they're going to end. In our opinion, it will, and the broader trend will continue. There's two ways to look at this. Okay, yeah, you might have given back some unrealized gains, but also for somebody like myself that's still eager to DCA and get in on a lot of the opportunities that we think there is in the cryptocurrency space. And if you want to unlock them, do become a patron. You'll get my full portfolio with the portfolio update yesterday. If you want that kind of upside, you have to be able to sort of ride the short-term downside when things are kind of bottoming. Obviously, crypto is a lot more volatile and high beta. But it's up to you guys whether you want to hang in there or not. It's still absolutely my assessment that there's some amazing times ahead of us. You've got, obviously, Mt.Gox, which I don't think is as big a thing as people are making it out to be. Obviously, the German government doing what they're doing at a time when there's literally no volume in the cryptocurrency space. On top of that, you've got macroeconomic data today. You had, obviously, non-farm payroll today. You had 4th of July yesterday. There's no volume in the market. So when you do get the likes of the German government doing what they're doing, Bitcoin kind of becomes an anomaly in regards to the broader risk sector and kind of decouples from it in the short term. But I do think it will be with it in the more broad term. And actually, just like we saw with FTX, it will start to sort of pick its feet up and outperform. You were always expecting a period of consolidation around the high for Bitcoin, around its sort of all-time highs. We've got that. Total 2 not looking so hot anymore. We are predicting $3.8 trillion. With this recent pullback, you have ran, which I typically do not want to see, your left shoulder. If you look at where the left shoulder was, that is a run of it. You have had a bit of a buy here, but you need to see that strength come in for this to even be now a possibility. There's doubt put on it in regards to just the running of this. And you have seen a little bit of volume come in, but volume's still dropping off. You've seen a little bit of sort of buying come in, but it needs to continue and be kind of zealous at this point. So we will, as always, guys, keep you up to date on a daily basis. You've got internal things happening with the cryptocurrency space. It's not moving with risk more broadly in the short term. Even the dollar's coming down. Everything's going the way we want it to, except for crypto. And that kind of seems like the story of my life at the moment, guys. So that's it from me, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed this content as much as I enjoyed presenting it. On that note, I am going to love and leave you. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you all in the next one.